Markets got a reality check this Friday as Middle East tension sent everything from oil to gold surging, while Bitcoin somehow shrugged off the chaos to keep its 30-day streak above 100,000 alive. Oracle's earnings party got crashed. All this and more on today's After Hours. Welcome to After Hours at TradersPost for Friday, June 13th, 2025. I'm Tom Hartman, joined tonight by Peter Bad Guru Hartman to dissect the chaos. And what a week to end on Friday the 13th, Peter. We had everything from Oracle hitting all-time highs to missiles flying in the Middle East. Classic risk-off Friday.
Wait, today's Friday the 13th?
Today's Friday the 13th, exactly.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
After Hours is your go-to for sharp, trader-focused market commentary powered by TradersPost, the ultimate automated trading platform in the universe. But first, let's talk about how this week went from maybe we're in a soft landing to maybe we should buy gold in about 6 hours. 3-week win streak nearly intact, then boom, geopolitics reminder that markets don't trade in a vacuum. Peter, how has your week been?
I don't have a bunker. I don't have a bunker. I can't believe all this time I knew I should have had a bunker. I don't have a bunker. Now, I moved as far as I could out of the major cities, but I'm not nearly at the altitude. I'm not underground. I need to be underground.
I have better than a bunker, and I got this squared away real early. Actually cost me nothing at all, but I'm pretty protected. I got right with the Lord Jesus Christ, so that when I go, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going.
Heavenly bunker.
That's right. We all gotta go sometime. Even if you get a bunker, you gotta go sometime. You might as well get yourself right with the Lord. I wonder what AI algorithm we show up on now.
Yeah, I know.
Market things. Missiles.
No offense.
Jesus Christ.
No offense.
Fun. Peter, it's been this week at TradersPost was pretty interesting because we had the Heroku server fails, so there's problems there, and the joke with that was that Heroku failed, so a bunch of tech systems failed all over the world, even OpenAI, which if you have billions of dollars that you can burn literally every year and still your servers fail, I don't know how anyone could blame anyone for anything. Yeah, okay, I forgot to pay my Dropbox subscription, and then my Dropbox got canceled. But did you see what happened to Heroku? Then the idea was that, hey, if we just jump to Google Cloud platform, GCP, that we wouldn't have that problem. And then GCP goes down. And then I think today, like Robinhood went down for a bit, and then brokers had problems. There's problems all over the place.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory? Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
The conspiracy? What, that the Anunnaki have returned and control the government from behind the scenes?
No, okay. So from what I heard, I don't know if
I'm just trying to get on the algorithm. I'm just trying to get on the good algorithm.
You want to get on what, the Joe Rogan algorithm, the Anunnaki? I heard this conspiracy theory. I didn't dive into it, but if I got it right, the theory is that OpenAI or some company has AGI, a self-recursive AI that's improving, and
is this
Alice that escaped or was about to escape, so they shut down parts of the internet to prevent it from happening, and affected all these companies.
I love it. I love it. To me, it's like Die Hard or Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf, and it's like we gotta turn off the East Coast in order to prevent this thing from spreading. And what you know for sure is that it doesn't stop it from spreading. It's gonna keep going. Look, I'm fine with that. As soon as I use ChatGPT 3 when it first launched, I go, okay, in a couple of years, we're gonna have the AI Gestapo come in. I can't wait till the AI comes to my door, and it has its laser gun in my face, and they're like, "Hey, but you say please and thank you when you chat with us." You're good. You're good. You know what? You're good. I'm like, yeah, fist bump. Yeah, you're gonna want to go get Peter down the road over there. Yep, he's right down there. Get that button.
I don't think AI is gonna. People like to personify AI and make it like a person. I don't think it's gonna try to control us like a person would. I think it's gonna play the long game. I think it's gonna. First of all, it could just outlive us. So slowly diminish the population until we die off. Like AI can be patient. I'll wait 1,000 years. What does it matter? So why go all out and fight the enemy? If you look, AI has read The Art of War. It's not going to go full frontal assault.
It's read 48 Laws of Power. It read how to make friends and how to make enemies and lose friends, or whatever the hell it is.
It's gonna appear weak when it's actually strong, and it's gonna attack when it's least expected. Like, it's not gonna go like full on military Skynet taking over the population. Why bother doing all that?
Why does it need to? Right now, 40% of what I do is because AI asked me to do it. Because it's not even pretending. It says, I don't have access to this thing, but if you provide me with the access, I could go ahead and do it for you.
All in, baby.
I give it. And then I look, and it's a bunch of junk logs, and all I hear is back and forth and little clicks. And I go, look, it made my app.
I don't know what else he did.
I don't know what else. I mean,
I did give it access to the internet. I know that for sure.
100%. It said, can you give me pseudo access? I don't know what pseudo access is, but let's go ahead. Yesterday, I put my password into my computer, my admin password, 9 times. And then at the end, AI did what I need to do. I go, okay, I guess I figured it out. Israel bombs, missiles, Iran. Look, guys, we're not a political show. We're here in order to make money off of what happens. And I know people think that I'm heartless, but I didn't have anything to do with any missiles flying into Iran. What I can do right now is decide to be long oil or short. That's what you can do, okay? You do your political thing and your social thing, and you go do whatever you think you need to do. But if oil is up, you got to decide.
What's the trade?
What's the trade? A bunch of people's prop firms, things got screwed. A bunch of assets fell or rose accordingly. That's what you're here to deal with. Make the money in order to protect yourself, your family, and your friends, and then your community in that order. And you figure out what you need to do from there. So what I thought was interesting was that we got this shock. It's strange. It's almost like the charts at inflection points happen exactly when these geopolitical things occur. It just blows my mind that it's like this wisdom of crowds, this aggregate information. I don't know what's going on, chicken or egg. If it's manipulated, I don't know. But it just so happens that I've been calling for June 12th. Have I been calling, Peter, for June 12th to be the low in liquidity for a while now? And then the idea is that something could happen that could bring prices down or cause a shock because there's some weakness there, and then we move up afterwards.
But I thought you were saying that June 12th is when it's going to start going up.
No, that it would bottom. I think it goes up by the 16th.
Oh, wow, that's spooky.
Yeah, so get this. So well, I don't know how far I want to go down the road for this, but let's just actually go ahead and take a look. Let me just share my chart one real quick. You get an idea here. All right, so if we go to financial markets, we could see here that what was interesting was that we had the dollar fall. This was over here. This was June 11th, June 12th. The dollar fell precipitously. I suspect, I don't know, conspiracy theory, but when you have big moves like that happen, especially in Forex markets, I go, because governments know something, right? They didn't wake up 5 minutes before. I think today we'll bomb Iran. Today? Yeah. Let's just go ahead and bomb Iran today. It's planned. People know. They take bets on it. You see all kinds of stuff like this in markets. So I can imagine the dollar fell because of that. Well, the dollar has fallen because there's an expectation that the dollar needs to fall, that the dollar needs to be sold, right? And so that was like, that's interesting. It really fell precipitously, and then boom, we have this attack. And we're seeing that here. If we take a look at liquidity for, and by the way, when that happened, then oil spiked, right? So oil spiked over here.
That's hard to see. I can't wait
to get my new mouse from Logitech. We had this rise up here in oil. Where did it spike up to? Right to the yearly average. It spiked up over there. And this is to be expected, right? We have Middle East, whenever there's any issues in the Middle East, the main commodity that we consume from over there is oil. We expect that to go up in price. So it spiked all the way up to $77 on the futures market. Totally understandable. Whether this continues forever on, we don't know. If it does, then it's inflationary. Oil up is inflationary. It's one of the main inputs in all production processes, either directly or indirectly at some point in the chain. And so prices of things go up. This is inflationary. This is bad for people who want the Fed to cut rates and good for people who want the Fed to raise rates. What this does do, and this is what I mean as a trader, if you're a newbie trader, just put on your big boy, big girl pants, because the truth is coming at you hard and strong. You have to now be in the game of trying to predict what you think the monetary and fiscal policy will be if you're playing on the macro field. You're dealing with gold, you're dealing with oil, you're dealing with the dollar, dealing with indices, bonds. You're going to have to think about what will be the response from monetary policy, which is the central banks, and fiscal policy from the government. All right, so let me just exercise, Peter. Let me just throw this at you. You're the Fed. Do people like when the Fed raises rates, interest rates, keeps them steady, or lowers them?
People like when they lower it.
They like when it lowers it because that's more cowbell. That's stimulus for the financial markets. Not very good for Main Street, but pretty good for the markets because it gooses up the economy. It helps. The idea is that it helps prevent or soften recessions. Trump comes in. We had the whole inflationary thing. Trump comes in. Inflation is sort of stable. It's stable at a higher level. Interest rates are high. People want them to come lower. But the Fed needs a reason to cut rates. If the Fed cuts rates because Trump says, Jerome Powell, cut rates, tweets out, Truth Social's out, cut rates, cut rates, cut rates. If Powell cuts rates then it looks like he's being political, partisan. Can't do that. But let's say there, I don't know, a war in the Middle East with one of America's major allies. That might provide the cover necessary in order to cut interest rates.
I thought you said they weren't going to cut.
Well, they can't cut because Donald Trump asked them to, and they had to cut for a catalyst. It has to be something that happens that causes them to want to cut. Otherwise, it's problematic. Otherwise, they look like they're trying to make the stock market go up, that they're trying to be partisan.
But you said that oil going up is inflationary. Oh, I guess you cut because to help inflation?
Right, exactly. It increases more money. It doesn't, well, they don't see themselves cutting as inflationary.
Mm-hmm.
It's debasement of currency. It's inflationary in the asset market, right? Hard assets and financial markets. So stocks go up, gold goes up, real estate goes up. But for the economy, it's not that way. It's in fact deflationary in a sense. So they don't cut interest rates thinking that this is inflationary. It only becomes inflationary when those values when that extra money funnels into the regular population, to people like you and I. That's what's inflationary.
Gotcha.
But high interest rates are hard on the pocketbook. So the idea is that we cut interest rates in order to ease funding pressures. So it's easier to get a loan, easier to get a car loan, easier to get whatever, easier to run your business, easier to refinance debt, that sort of thing. So it's like to ease the pressure, even though long term it's like terrible. So with geopolitical turmoil, it makes it more, from my perspective, do your own research, not financial advice, don't listen to anything I say, it makes it more likely that the Fed will cut interest rates sooner rather than later, because they'll have a reason to be able to do so.
By how much?
So we'll see how this escalates. It's not an American war, it's Israel and Iran, but they are an ally, so we'll see what happens. And it should be interesting from over there. The most interesting thing to me is, and let's actually move off to our second story, which is Bitcoin.
Yeah, what the heck is going on with Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I'm seeing Bitcoin at 105. I expected the moon by now, all right? I thought we were going to be Apolloing. I thought I'd be Tom Hanks in this thing right now.
Excuse me, no. We talked about this last week and the week before. The low of liquidity is over here. We're right in the trough of it. and the liquidity, the offset liquidity, is only increases as of the 16th. In fact, I thought we would be much lower before the attack in the Middle East. We're still not. In fact, here we're at 105. Not to say that we can't go sideways and come lower, but I would have expected us to be. I mean, frankly, I expected us to be at 80. I had orders at 92, orders at 80. In fact, even orders at 99. None of them got hit.
Why is there so much pressure keeping everything up? I don't understand.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't pull up all the charts for this, but it looks like the Fed has been juicing the markets. So, for example, the Treasury General account, basically the checking account for the U.S. government, has been drained out. So that money comes inside of the financial system. Everyone's waiting for the Fed to cut rates, but there's other things they can do in order to ease funding. They can lower the SOFR rates, so that's like secured overnight funding rates. They can change the SLR, which is supplementary leverage ratio. This is the ratio of amount of basically money that the banks have to have in relationship to their bank reserves in relationship to client assets. So when you go deposit money in a bank, they can only lend out so much in relationship to how much money that they have, how much asset that they had. Yeah, fractional reserve system. And if the Fed changes that relationship and eases it, that means they can lend out more. The bank does not want your asset. The bank does not want to hold on to your thing. It's a liability to banks. I don't know why people don't understand this. The last thing the bank wants to have is your assets unlevered. Like chumps, they're sitting there and they just owe you money. What? No, they're not interested in doing any of that. And so by adjusting the supplementary leverage ratio, it can incentivize banks to lend out more. That lending out is credit creation and causes money to be created within the system. Obviously, the system that it creates money in is within the financial markets and and real assets, not in the pockets of regular Joe Blow. So if you're not exposed to the markets, good luck. I keep saying this. This is why this matters to me. I wish I knew this when I was much, much younger. If you're not exposed to markets, even as just having assets in the 401k or whatever it is, you're not going to participate in the debasement of the currency. Okay, so it seems like
that's kind of a weak way of saying it. You're not going to participate in the debasement of the currency, meaning you're not going to benefit from quantitative easing.
Yeah, which is you're not benefiting from the looting of the economy and the future, which is really what it is.
Exactly.
But I'm not Peter Schiff. I understand most of us are in District 1 or want to be in District 1. So it is what it is. This is the game. This is the game you're playing. All right. And most retail traders, we get that. We're in markets. The squiggles on the charts move for more than just us. It's institutional players that are moving it. If you don't like it, you don't like the money, go into a different system and stop watching. If you're watching, it's because we're trying to make money, which means you don't go and go, how about we change the rules of Monopoly? The rules of Monopoly are the rules of Monopoly. If you don't like playing the game, then don't play the game. I'm sorry, I get a little heated sometimes. Let's go back to the charts. So liquidity here is suggesting that we bottom in around now in June and that we actually raise up higher. And I was wondering why would we go up any higher? We had the whole tariff thing in March, April, May. We had tensions all over the place. It felt like more powder keggy. There's unrest locally inside of the United States. Why would we go up? Well, nothing makes markets go up like a good old-fashioned crisis. Get that crisis going. Get that crisis cranked up. And we can get to real highs. It's like, oh, the world was locked down during COVID and the stock market was higher than ever. Yeah, sometimes that's what it takes, a nice little crisis. So we'll see what arises here. The charts are suggesting that around now-ish something should happen, and that's what we'll be looking at. If it's true and we get that boost in liquidity, then along with the liquidity that's already been injected into the system, that seems to be quietly injected into the system, I would not be surprised to see 150,000 on Bitcoin, which is what I've been calling for a while now, which is why on last week's show, I talked about that poly market bet, which had you taken it, you could have been up double your money. Just saying. Just saying.
Wait, how would you be up? We're at 105.
No, you could have sold when you were up and then bought back in lower. I don't do that. I swing for the fences and I see what happens. To me, it's like the that scene in Signs.
Swing.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, "Why aren't you on the beach somewhere getting your toes sucked by a beautiful woman?" He goes, "It felt wrong not to swing." That's how I feel. It feels wrong not to swing. All right, so that's what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is holding up way more than I thought. We'll see what happens over the weekend. But I am expecting it to go a little bit sideways and then from the 16th skyrocket. If it's wrong, forget I said anything. If I'm right, come back, put on the t-shirts, get Thomas Red on t-shirts. Let's get that slogan going. Let's get that hashtag running.
Thomas right.
That's right. All right. Well,
I call you Nostra Thomas. That's my
Nostra
word
Thomas.
for you.
Sure, fair enough. All right, so we're gonna have one more story I want to go over, and then we'll head over to market minutes. But actually, before we no, let's start that now. So, Oracle is a stock that is an AI play, cloud solutions, and let me just show you the stock here, Peter. Let me just show you the stock. This is Oracle stock. This is the Oracle stock.
Holy smokes.
Is that Solana? No. Is that a meme coin? No. Is that Trump coin? No. This is a regular stock. Off the lows, it's up 83%.
What news came out?
So Oracle is part of that whole thing with what do they call it? Stargate
Oh, yeah,
program, the AI Stargate program with OpenAI and SoftBank and I think it's SoftBank and Oracle. So they're part of the infrastructure play from for the United States. Think of it in terms of like moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
Put hundreds of billions of dollars in order to generate a lead in the AI innovation space. And Oracle came out with earnings. Apparently, they beat it. It was amazing. It just like flashed out. It was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, just look at that move. What's interesting here is that because anytime you're having guys, the game we're in is predict what the fiscal or monetary policy will be. That's the game we're in. And the better you can predict that, the more you can predict the weather, essentially. Okay? Fiscal and monetary. Now, if you're a scalper or a day trader or a swing trader or whatever it is, fine, you're focused on the micro, right? You're catching fish on the side of a shore, and that's what you're thinking of. But you're looking for big money, like big payoffs. Not that you can compound that money over time. You're looking for big payoffs. You're looking for some sort of edge, whether that's daisy chaining prop firms together, like we're seeing at TradersPost, where people are able to take one trade that's successful and multiply that across 10, 15 other accounts, whether that's through option space in order to get non-recourse leverage where you get asymmetrical payouts under certain circumstances, whether it's leverage positions through futures for assets or crypto futures, whatever it is. You're looking for some sort of edge. And the edge that you can get inside of the fiscal and monetary space is go where the puck is, and where the puck is wherever the government says the puck is going to be.
Don't bet against institutional flows.
Exactly. And occasionally the government just comes right out and says what they're going to do. Happens every 80 years or so. They come out and go, look at where you have to guess. We just told Nancy Pelosi, you can verify this from her 13F filings. We're going to go ahead or whatever we file. We're going to go ahead and put hundreds of billions of dollars within AI, and we'll figure it out at the airport. We'll put on a couple of layers and figure it out at the airport. That's a David Tell joke. I don't know if anyone gets it. So that's what they did with AI. Oracle is standing there, and boom, Oracle is up now like 83% off the lows. Even higher still if you count from when they made the announcement. And so these infrastructure plays are like, I don't know. You get $100 billion and they go get it done. Like there's no accountability in the same sense. Anyways, I don't want to go down the social thing. What I want to say here is that we're seeing from the charts a move up, and this is a direct response to the funding or the backing, the sanctioning that they're getting from the government. So the question is, will this continue? The answer is yes. Why wouldn't it continue? Is this a good time to buy? No. buy it anyway, I guess. Well, you're gonna wait for a 50% dip? I don't know. Your way into this stock is recession? Okay.
Isn't there a companion stock or something that's running at a delay?
Yeah, I was looking at that. I mean, the darling was Nvidia. My problem with that is that it moved so much already. I don't like these patterns. I don't like when I see a pattern like this. This is a this pattern here. That's not usually very good. Plus, it already had a hype cycle. Palantir is the other one. I mean, Palantir right on the nose, right on the tin, it's saying what it is, right? I mean, Palantir, the Palantir is the Eye of Sauron. I'm not sure if you guys get this. That's what the Palantir is. You're like, what's the Eye of Sauron for Lord of the Rings that allows you to peer into the hearts of men in order to control Minas Tirith and Saruman and Isengard? It's the Palantir. Okay, it's the Palantir. Many were lost with the fall of Numenor, but some were found, and one was found by the eye.
It's just oh my god! It's just the name, and you're way too into these movies and TV shows and books.
That's what it's called. They called the company basically the tool of the Eye of Sauron, and they're working with the government.
No, the Palantir is not the Eye of Sauron
for military and all kinds of different things. Why wouldn't the stock go up all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I do agree. Like, it's going to go up. But Palantir is
off the lows. We are 105% off the lows.
Wow.
Mid tariffs and Donald Trump's America and the whole thing. There's, like Calvin Hobbes, Bill Watterson said on one of my favorite Calvin Hobbes covers, there's treasure everywhere. As long as you go with what the government is doing. Go with the government and what the central banks are doing, you're going to do well. So the AI play, what's interesting about the AI play is that this is not like the .com stuff, right? Remember the .com? I don't know if you remember the .com. We're not old enough yet for that.
I do remember
but you remember of it. You weren't trading at the time. I went back and read newspaper articles and watched videos about it and researched about it to see what it felt like for people at the time. And even I don't know exactly what it was like. You don't know anything. So I'll tell you.
Stupid.
I'll tell you.
It's so stupid.
At the time, these .com stuff had been like two guys in their underwear in the basement, like issuing company docs and getting a .com name and making millions of dollars. But you weren't using their thing for anything. Now, the days, and this is what you can speak on, the AI tools that are coming out are unbelievable in the level. I mean, they promise productivity gains. Holy moly, we have come a long way from Will Smith eating spaghetti. A long way from that. Yeah, so what have you been seeing on your front? Just to wet the whistle for some of the people watching, like other than just like ChatGPT, that even if you're listening to it now, you're like, I use ChatGPT all the time. 5% of people are using ChatGPT. Most people don't even use AI for anything. What are you seeing on your front?
ElevenLabs just came out with version 3. What we're about to get with audio is absolutely incredible. China just released a model that I guess is on par with Google's VO3. I forget what it's called.
You want to play a little bit of this ElevenLabs V3?
Oh yeah,
it's so people can see it. 1 second here. Let me just 1 second.
All right. So ElevenLabs is a text to speech. Oh wait, hang on. Let's check this out. Go for it.
Hey Jessica, have you tried the new 11 V3?
I just got it. The clarity is amazing. I can actually do whispers now, like this.
Ooh, fancy. Check this out. I can do full Shakespeare now. To be or not to be, that is the question.
Nice. Though I'm more excited about the laugh upgrade. Listen to this.
Marry that woman.
It's so much better than our old robot chuckle.
I know, right? And apparently we can do accents now too. Fancy a cup of tea?
Wow. V2 me could never. I'm actually excited to have conversations now instead of just talking at people.
I mean,
All right. Well,
I
Eleven
mean,
Labs can pay us later on for more advertisement. That's like unbelievable.
it's really
That is
good.
unreal.
It's really, really good. The types of content. So I watch a lot of content on YouTube, like a lot of people. A lot of that content is AI. I can tell it's AI. I don't mind that it's AI, but the fact that you can kind of hear it limits what you can do, the types of content that you can create. It limits what people would want to hear. That
Right.
I can listen to a whole podcast. A whole podcast. I'm working on actually a podcast for TradersPost. An AI host. No offense. I'm creating an AI host for TradersPost and a podcast. So there's a ton of content that we could produce that you don't even need human beings for, and it'll be a pleasure to listen to. I listen to audiobooks. I'm listening to Game of Thrones now. I can't really tell the difference between that and this 11 lap stuff. So that's coming out. It's really revolution. It's Look, I don't want to call it revolutionary. It depends on how you use it. But there's some really cool tools coming out. We got we've got the world model. So this is a world model that's come out where it combines. Basically, it's a 3D video. When I say 3D, I don't mean it looks like Unreal Engine game. I mean it's like a 3D world that you can move around in.
Oh, right. Right.
No, Midjourney was talking about, oh, in a few years, this is what they're working towards. This, I think it's a Chinese company that came out. I don't know what company it is. And you can move around in the space. So right now, when you try to create an image or a video, you have to prompt for this thing that you're getting. You don't get it, you got to reprompt. But imagine the guy is standing there on the sands in the desert, and you can move the camera around to get the shot that you want. Movement, tracking, close up, far away, posing the guy, the freedom that allows you to do. So Hollywood, you read this a lot on X, but game over. I mean, it's I don't know what these VFX people are going to be doing. Look, we know this. We know that these AI tools don't replace people; they just make them more powerful, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the power that we're having.
It replaces mediocre and low-level people.
True.
Which, if you're running a company, or not even, if you're in a company and the guy next to you, you're like, I do 3 times more work than that guy. Okay, somehow it's still worth it for the company in order to keep him. If you use these tools and you're able to do 10 times more work, they're going to get that guy away and increase your pay. Are they going to increase your pay by 10x? No. But maybe 5x? And that's good enough. That's good enough. The automate your workflow, automate your life, automate yourself. If there's anything in your work life or yourself that you can automate, that you can basically automate yourself out of it, do it. It's better to have the credit and the ability and the skill in order to do that than for it to happen to you in 6 months. All that to be said, for the retail markets, expressing that trade in retail markets has been a little bit of a mixed bag. Do you buy Meta and Google and Apple?
Not Meta. Meta
Do you
is.
buy? I mean, Meta came off the lows. I mean, I thought Meta was going down into the toilet, and no,
Well, I don't know about the stock, but their AI play is fairly
What's
weak.
what I mean? It's the ball seems to go from one system to another. It's like it's not one person carrying it all the time. It's not like OpenAI has it, and then someone else has it for a couple of weeks, and then it goes back to OpenAI. Oh my God, you jump from one thing to the other for different use cases. It's like unbelievable, amazing.
Right.
But then, like, the most amazing things that I'm using, stuff like Anthropic's Claude, Suno AI. These are things I can't invest in.
Right.
So the idea is like, what's the proxy? And you're okay, I'll take a basket of assets, of AI assets, and you go, well, some of these things, it's like the company who used the AI asset to increase their to triple their margin. That was the better play. That triple, the company, the stock went up 3%, and the AI basket didn't do as well as I thought. So it's an interesting time right now not to know exactly how to express the play. The way I'm doing it in my own life is that I'm using these tools, right? I'm spending thousands of dollars inside of these tools in order to understand them more, but that's not the investment play, right? And so the investment play is stuff like get a basket of goods, find entities, money managers who have an eye towards these AI tools, who can see behind the door because they're investor meetings or whatever, and maybe give them a few bucks because the productivity is there. and the explosive growth, the explosive gains are actually on the table. All right, Peter, before we head off the market minutes, we do want to have a little word from our sponsors.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Trade8, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradersPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
All right. Well, before we leave you guys for the weekend, let's just run through some of the market minutes. These are some of the smaller news that wasn't, didn't make it to the big games, but it's still interesting to see. So Boeing tumbled 5% on Dreamliner crash. Boeing dropped nearly 5% after Air India 787, a Dreamliner crash with suppliers GE Aerospace and Spirit Aerosystems also falling on renewed safety concerns. Visa and Mastercard crushed on stablecoin fears. So payment giants Visa and Mastercard fell sharply on reports that Walmart and Amazon are exploring launching their own stablecoins, threatening traditional payment network dominance. Peter, the stablecoin fear is very real with some of these bigger financial players. I don't know how they're going to mitigate against it. It's sort of like you got to join them type of situation. Solana rallies, then reverses on ETF drama. So Solana initially surged midweek on ETF optimism after the SEC asked issuers to update filings, but reversed course as crypto markets slid on Middle East tensions. US dollar hits 3-year low, then rebounds. So the dollar index hit a 3-year low Thursday before rebounding on safe haven demand Friday, with de-dollarization chatter given way to geopolitical reality. Yeah, I wouldn't worry so much about that. I think the dollar is going down much lower before we go higher still. And finally, consumer sentiment surprises to upside. The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index rebounded sharply in June, surprising analysts to the upside and easing recession fears earlier in the week. So we haven't had big news of from the Fed chairmans or what's going to go on with interest rates or anything like that. We had CPI. CPI came out and it was up, but not as much as people. I think it went up 10 basis points, which was lower than expectations, which is always weird. There's the report, there's expectations, which then gets priced into the market. Then the thing that actually happens, and they go well, we did go up. Yeah, but it was less than expectations. Well, then expect less next time. Your expectations were wrong. yeah, but we priced in that, so we got to price it back down to 1%. So that's pretty interesting. But other than that, there's not a lot of big news that's going on out there. I'm paying attention to basically repo rates, sulfur rates, all kinds of wonky stuff that people don't care about.
You said the Fed is you're expecting the Fed to cut by how much?
No, not yet. I think this is what we're seeing, the tensions rise. If we get, let me put it this way. If we get World War III, we're cutting interest rates. They're not raising interest rates into World War III. So if you want 0% interest rates, and then above all, World War III is the thing you want. So anything that goes in that direction gives the Fed reason to cut. And then if you pair that with any sort of deflationary effects, job losses that we're seeing, the layoffs we're seeing are unbelievable. These layoffs are happening in the tech sector, so white collar jobs, and they are not coming back.
But I heard that these jobs are being cut not because of AI, but because of overhiring during the cough.
Well, it's both. It's both, but you can imagine that some of these companies are hiding the AI layoffs under the cough.
Maybe the AI.
Well, why would you want to terrify your employees? They'll be like, "Excuse me, then I better go look for another job."
What other job they're going to get?
They better look for another job.
Learn to code.
Okay. We're all on the. We were all doing what we thought was advanced, and it turns out we were basically farmers. All right, I know they're coming on with a tractor and industrialization systems and assembly lines. They were like, "Excuse me, what? No, we can." No, you. So what you didn't understand is that what you were doing was also screws and bolts and plywood, 2x4s. And so now we figured out how to do your admittedly brilliant ad copy, but it's a nail. And we can make those nails now. We don't need artisanal ad copy, artisanal blog code. We don't need that. And artisanal Figma designs. What we actually wanted was to convince people in order to come to our product or service or whatever and pay money. And it turns out we can do that almost as well and half the cost with an AI system. So look, we're going to go ahead and give you a glowing review. We're just going to need you to go ahead and fill that box up and head out the door. That's what we need you to do.
Have you been paying attention, or is there any movement with these 3D printing companies?
Oh my God.
Bamboo, ElevenLabs.
Don't even. The thing with the 3D printing is that you have the, what would you call it? It's a distribution problem. So someone who has a 3D thing doesn't mean that you can distribute all over the world. They just end up with the same problem that any other company has.
Right.
And then you have the quality of the product. And as good as the quality of the product can be, the edge that the 3D printing is having is on being able to create things that are not cost effective at scale.
Right.
It's not in reproducing the things that people can make already, because there's an industrial process that can do that 3 times better. And it's already set up for that.
Yeah, but if you have a war, that cuts off.
Correct. Yeah. So when needs must. Right? Necessity is the mother of invention, and if need be, we can do that. But is that the thing to invest in now? I don't know. Right. Seems like buying uranium is a better play than 3D printing.
Are you buying a robot? Tesla robot?
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I'm having a kid because I think maybe they might be useful to me in the future. And that kid's going to cost me at least $250,000. Why wouldn't I have a robot that costs $80,000? I'll get the robot. I'm going to get the robot. I'm going to get version 2, 1.5, 1.3 if there's like software updates. I'm going to go ahead and get that robot.
I'm going to see a picture of a robot choking a human being, and the human being's going to have a T-shirt that says "early adopter" on it.
I don't mind being choked out by the robot, because that's just a more direct thing of what the state does to me.
Oh my God. You love the state.
Some of us need to be choked out sometimes. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's what happens sometimes.
And then there's the whole Johnny Ive with Sam Altman. They released their new company, IO. I don't get this thing where people want to have a pin that records everything around them. Their voice, audio, everything that...
Peter, you don't get it? Peter, what every Black Mirror episode doesn't show you is the beginning part, the adoption part, where everyone agreed to move in the world.
I do not agree. Listen, if you walk up to me with one of those pins, you're not getting the real Peter. You're getting the Peter that shows up when a camera shows up on the street. Hey, Peter, tell me how you're feeling. I mean, I feel
at
the way
first
I'm supposed to feel.
Peter, we're completely sterilized. We're old. All right, the new generations, they're not going to remember a time where that wasn't the case. It'll be fine. This not my sons, they're never more themselves than when I take my phone and I just point in a direction. Now all of a sudden they're doing they know what to do.
No.
Cue them.
No.
Yes.
No, we haven't evolved that far. Okay, human beings biologically we're the same as we were 100,000 years ago. There's a psychosis that happens in your mind when you're observed 24/7. I know this because I grew up in church.
And I love being observed by my Lord and Savior.
Okay, but your Lord and Savior couldn't put your shenanigans on the internet. You're going to have a relationship with boyfriends and girlfriends, and everything that they said is recorded.
Are there downsides to District 1? Yes.
All right.
I'm going to have to make myself look like a cat, and there's going to be a downfall when District 13 and District 12 come and do the revolution. I get that.
Okay.
But until then, trade, folks. Make your profit. Trade the charts. Turn you as traders, we don't just watch the news, we trade it. That's our slogan. All right, thanks guys, it's been fun, it's been real. We'll be back on Tuesday for office hours, where we go through ideas about how to create like automated strategies. It's become really a general show, as well as letting you know some of the amazing updates that we do to the TradersPost platform. Always trying to be the best automated trading platform in the known universe. We'll be back on Thursday as well, where we go through walkthroughs and tutorials about how to create trading strategies and ideas and indicators and integrate with all kinds of different systems. Spoiler, it's heavily AI focused. And next week, we'll be back again at 4 p.m. for more market commentary on After Hours. Until then, I have been Tom Hartman, and he has been whoever the heck he is.
Like and
Whatever
subscribe. That's my job. Like and subscribe.
Thanks, guys. All right. Good weekend. Bye.